Yo, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Kryptonian saying here, bringing you guys another Jujutsu Kaisen discussion. And today, I think we need to do something very dangerous, which is, I think now that we have a situation where Gojo has been kept out of the manga for over a year, and things have escalated to the point where they have, I think we need to discuss the possibility that Gojo is actually going to die, and whether or not this is something that narratively makes the most sense. And I gotta say, for people saying, well, you know, Gojo, there's a possibility that he escapes and he gets freed. You're absolutely right, there is a possibility, and yet at the same time, this is also one of those situations where when you look at the character of Gojo, while he is overpowered done right, which I do have a video that should be on the channel around the time you're seeing this, explaining why he's the perfectly overpowered character, at the same time, Gojo being taken off of the board does so much for raising the level of tension in the story to a level that you can't actually do if he's actually alive. And one of the things about the prison realm is that it can only seal one person in at a time, and somebody actually has to die when they're inside of the prison realm in order for it to actually open back up, unless you have other circumstances that happen. And so this is one of those things where when everything first got explained, I at first thought that Gojo was going to do something like maybe stop his heart while he's inside of the prison realm and just enter into a near-death state for a suspended period of time, and then once he's actually released, that's when Gojo would find a way to restart his heart. I thought something like that was going to be the way that Gojo would actually die, quote unquote, but now that we're just in a situation where things have gotten progressively more and more dangerous and the stakes continue to raise up, I think that this is something to where we have to consider the possibility of Gojo dying. And I know on one hand he's a very popular character, and yet at the same time I think we're in a situation where if he does die, the cast of villains that are around at this point, I feel like they've done a good enough job to where if Gojo does get killed off because of all the sacrifices that have happened in the Shibuya arc, whether it be Nobara losing her eye, whether it be Nanami actually being killed in front of Yuji, I think this is one of those times to where this could be something that actually rocks Yuji in a way to where Yuji and Megumi and Nobara end up taking those next steps to actually start progressing even further, because Gojo even says it at one point that, you know, he has a goal of collecting powerful jujutsu sorcerers, and it's one of those things where he's so powerful that he can impose his will, but at the same time he's also in a situation where he exists inside of a society where there's already certain rules and traditions put into place. And so we've seen it on smaller levels, like during Gojo's flashback where Gojo did not agree with what was going on with Master Tengen and that girl that he was actually protecting. And so we've seen how Gojo's kind of pushed back against the norms of jujutsu sorcery and what was going on in that actual world. And yet at the same time, we've also seen people that he's put his trust in actually get killed off. And so this is one of those things to where at first you would think your knee-jerk reaction would be maybe Yuji gets all of Sukuna's fingers, Sukuna takes over, they're not able to kill him, and Sukuna using Yuji's body was able to kill Gojo. I thought that that was something that they would kind of move their way towards, and yet at the same time I don't think that that's the route that's going right now, because it's becoming more and more clear that Jujutsu Kaisen is one of those series where it does not matter how popular a character is. It does not matter how important they are to the story at this point. Any character can die. And I personally love those situations, because one of the problems that shonen struggle with is that you always get into a situation where the main character gets the right amount of plot armor and things just happen to break at just the right time and just the right manner to where they're actually able to survive. And you know, Jujutsu Kaisen does it to a certain extent, like how when Yuji is fighting against Maito in the Shibuya arc and Nobara, it actually gets revealed that just like Yuji, she is a natural enemy to Maito and she does real damage to Maito's body during that time. Yet at the same time, if this was your regular cookie cutter shonen, something would have broke out to where she wasn't in that situation. And a great example would be, if you take a hypothetical situation, what if Kisame was introduced into the Land of Waves arc? Kisame at that point in the story should have been strong enough that Kakashi and all Team 7 absolutely got wiped out. But because of how the actual story is written, Naruto and Sasuke and Team 7 and Kakashi, things were going to break in just the right way to where they were going to be able to survive that battle. Jujutsu Kaisen does not walk down that path of plot armor. If you fight somebody who is more powerful than you, you're going to have to work your ass off in order to survive that battle. The Maito battle against Nanami and against Yuji was a great example of that. If Yuji had not been there, Maito would have killed Nanami, and he actually succeeded in killing Nanami once Yuji was actually separated from him in a later arc. And so that's one of those things to where when you look at Gojo, it can be argued that he's already filled his purpose in the story at this point. And so once characters get to that point, they can be written off, and Jujutsu Kaisen has established that no character is safe type of a feel to where I think maybe they could actually get away with actually killing off somebody as popular as Gojo because of the impact it's going to have on Yuji. However, I want to know from you guys, what are you guys' thoughts about the possibility of Gojo actually dying? Do you think that this is something that could actually work for raising the stakes, or do you think this will be a bad idea? Let me know down in the comment section below. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.